You ever notice how every Halloween we dress up like monsters, but the real creature feature's been running on C-SPAN for decades? Forget vampires, ghosts, and slashers. The real monster that haunts Americans year-round is bureaucracy. At least Dracula asked for permission before he sucked your blood. The IRS, not so much. Frankenstein's monster only killed a few villagers. Congress nukes entire budgets. And the mummy, he's got better healthcare coverage than half of America. Every year we act like government's this friendly old caretaker, keeping us safe, patching roads, protecting democracy. Nope. It's a bloated Lovecraftian bureaucracy that's been feeding on fear and paperwork since the New Deal. And now it's big enough to barbecue you for misplacing a form you never got. You want something truly terrifying? Call the IRS and stay on permahold for 3 hours while the Monster Mash plays in your head. Or try filling out a building permit in Texas, where the process moves slower than a zombie with arthritis. Every October, we dress up as monsters for fun, but the government's been cosplaying as one for decades, unelected, unkillable, and constantly feeding on your wallet. The sacred cow here is that government keeps us safe, protects the public, and solves problems. That's adorable. Like believing Frankenstein's monster really just needed a hug. Here's the truth. Government isn't inefficient by accident. It's inefficient by design. Every agency is like a haunted house with no exit signs. You enter to fix a pothole and end up 3 floors down filling out a request for asphalt utilization review form 37B, while the ghost of a retired clerk whispers, "You're in the wrong line." In reality, most of what the government does is create the problem, regulate the problem, and then hire a consultant to study why the problem still exists. The DMV? A zombie movie where the undead shuffle forward one number at a time. The TSA? A body horror flick with latex gloves, vats of KY jelly, and a confiscated shampoo. The Pentagon? That's the cabin in the woods. The blood ritual to keep the war machine fed. You've got a federal bureaucracy where one agency writes 1,000 rules nobody reads, another agency enforces them inconsistently, and a third agency blames resource constraints when it all goes to hell. Texas is no better. You can't even get a driver's license renewed without an appointment booked 3 months in advance. But hey, they'll mail you a jury summons instantly. That's not efficiency, that's selective haunting. And both parties play Dr. Frankenstein, stitching together new departments every election year to prove that they did something. Then they lose control of the monster and act shocked when it eats the village again. Government is the world's most expensive haunted house. It's full of ghosts. Agencies nobody's seen since the Cold War, departments that keep expanding long after they were supposed to have died, and programs that feed on your tax dollars like a vampires at an all-you-can-eat blood bank. You want real terror? Try starting a small business in America. You'll spend more time appeasing the bureaucratic gods than actually selling your product. Environmental permits, tax codes, compliance audits. It's like playing Dungeons and Dragons, except the dungeon master's the EPA and dragons the IRS. The Pentagon can't pass an audit. The DMV eats souls, and the IRS has more loopholes than a Tim Burton plotline. We've got 430 federal departments, offices, and commissions, half of which do the same job, none of which get fired, and all of which demand more funding to fix the inefficiency they caused the last time. Both parties feed the beast. Republicans slash taxes and grow spending. Democrats promise reform and grow bureaucracy. It's like watching Dr. Frankenstein and Dr. Moreau compete over who can build the bigger abomination. The result? $1 trillion horror fic. And you're footing the bill for the popcorn. Meanwhile, the same government that can't fix your local bridge somehow has $14 billion lying around to monitor your social media posts. But don't worry, that's just for your safety. Just like the Patriot Act was, the TSA and the NSA's Utah data center that's storing enough metadata to resurrect your digital ghost after you die. That's not democracy, that's necromancy. Here's the thing, monsters only thrive in the dark. Bureaucracy's the same way. It survives because nobody can see what's inside. The cure isn't smaller government or bigger government. It's accountable government. One that actually has to justify its size, its scope, and its paycheck. Real liberty doesn't mean chaos, it means competence, local control, transparent budgeting, sunsets on every damn agency unless they can prove they still serve a public good. You want reform? Start by making bureaucrats personally accountable when their departments screw up. Imagine a system where every agency had to earn renewal, like a business license. Perform or dissolve. Prove your worth or pack your desk. You mismanage millions, you lose your pension. You botch a project, no golden parachute, just a pink slip and an audit. Imagine if citizens, not career politicians, had a real say in how local tax money is spent. Through transparent digital budgets, line by line, open to every voter. And if you're really brave, let's start shrinking the federal beast itself. Return powers to the states and communities that actually know what the hell is going on. Decentralization isn't radical, it's pest control. Government shouldn't be a monster we fear. It should be a tool we control. But right now, that tool's got fangs, claws, and a pension plan. Because the monster doesn't live in Transylvania. It lives on K Street in DC, wearing a flag pin and calling itself public service. And the scariest part, we keep feeding it. Every temporary emergency bill, every bipartisan spending deal, every trust us, it's for your safety vote. Halloween ends on November 1st, but in America, the horror never stops. It just files for an extension, adds regulation, and asks for temporary emergency funding that never expires. Every 4 years, we change which party feeds the creature, red or blue, but the monster never dies. It just changes its costume. Here's the real nightmare. We keep waiting for some political Van Helsing to come and slay the monster, but the truth is, we built it. And we keep it alive every time we trade freedom for convenience or complexity for comfort. We don't need another Van Helsing. We need a damn exorcism. So this Halloween, when you see kids dressed up like ghosts and goblins, remember, they'll grow out of it. But the government, it never takes off the mask. And this Halloween, remember, the scariest thing in Washington isn't ghosts. It's what's still technically alive. Technically. So here's my question. If the government's the monster in the room, are you still the citizen or just its next victim in its horror story? If the real monster is the system itself, what happens when the people finally stop being afraid of it? Drop your answer in the comments and tell me your favorite real-life government horror story.